Welcome to this episode of How to Contribute. Today we are figuring out how to contribute to Angular. And we have Mark Thompson. You might know him from the internet. Hi, Mark.
Hello, hello, hello.
So can you introduce yourself and your relation to Angular?
Yeah, so I'm Mark. I am a developer relations engineer, and I work on the Angular team. So I work here at Google, and I get a chance to work with some really smart people building your favorite framework.
I love it. So how did you get started contributing to Angular?
So my contributions stuff started literally by joining the team, because as I've been working on the team, I just got to see where opportunities were, and that's how I got involved.
Oh, that's awesome. I love that. Well, we love having you. I know like your YouTube stuff is so popular. Hype it up. Definitely check out Mark on Angular's YouTube. He is the star of the show there. But yeah, Angular is such like an awesome framework. I mean, I've definitely made some contributions, small ones, I'll buy it, but whatever. I would love to just kind of know, I think a lot of people like they look at Angular and they're like, oh man, there's this framework from Google. It's so big. Look at these Google developer experts. I'm so intimidated, but it's easy, right?
It is. It's not as daunting as it may come off, and we're working on making it better all the time.
Yeah, well, that's great. Can you maybe give us a tour of the repo and how to navigate it and what we should be looking at?
I can. So this is our Angular repository at github.com/Angular/Angular.
Cool.
Yeah, and so this repository is a place where you can, well, let me maybe go out just a little bit. Okay, cool. Now we can see some contributors. Excellent. So this is where you can find out how to contribute to different parts of Angular. So we have repositories for different components as well. So if we were to go into just the root Angular directory, you get to see that there's components, there's an Angular CLI, there's Angular material. So there's quite a few places where people can find an opportunity. So let's say that you were looking at the Angular CLI and you thought to yourself, this could be more helpful in some way. I wish that it did this. I wish that this were a feature, right? So when you have those I wish ideas, well, you can go to different parts of the application or to the framework and you can get started that way. Tracy, what do you think about talking about contributing to Angular, the framework, or the docs?
Yeah, I love that.
Awesome. So we do have some contribution guidelines that everyone should be mindful of. So if you were to go to our contribution guidelines, it tells you how to deal with the code of conduct. So you have to adhere to our code of conduct because Angular has to be a community where everyone is welcomed. And when we're not doing that, the whole thing kind of falls apart. So it's really important that we all adhere to our code of conduct. And then you can see if it's a question or a problem, issues, bugs, feature requests, all kinds of stuff. And Tracy, tell me if it's a good idea at any point for us to also talk about what the process looks like. I guess we can come back to that where we can talk about what does it look like when you submit something like a feature request, for example.
So when you were talking about contributing to the CLI, for example, oh man, the CLI should have X. Is that where you go to the feature requests?
Right, you would go to,
okay.
That's right. You would do a feature request. So that's exactly right. Exactly right. And so let's talk about the feature request process. So we heard you. We heard you all in the community. We heard you that you felt like we weren't doing enough to respond to feature requests and your issues were staying out there too long. Okay. So when you open up a feature, we actually have a whole process now that we go through. So when you open up a issue or a feature, what we try to do is look at it and then try to categorize it. Right? Is this something that's what we're working on right now? Is the team is this aligned with one of our priorities from the roadmap and where we're moving Angular forward? Or is this something else? And so if we're able to categorize it with something we're already doing, then we try to prioritize it. And if we're not working on something related to your feature request, that is not the end of the story. I know this is where it gets really cool. Okay, are you ready for this? Here, that's for you to get ready. All right, excellent. It can stay open, and then the community, so you folks at home, you get to thumbs up that issue. And if it reaches us that thumbs up threshold that we're looking for, which I think is 20 thumbs up, we go back and try to reevaluate it and see if we can fit it in. And
I'm going to create some bots is what I'm going to do.
No, do not create a bot. No bots allowed. Don't give them bad ideas. And so if your non-bot thumbs up count makes enough for us to be able to do it, we'll do it. And if not, that is still not the end of the story, because guess what? You, as an individual, can still lobby for people to help you create it on your own. And it can become a third-party package. Right.
I love
So
it.
that your idea does not go down the drain. There are lots of opportunities for you.
Well, that's awesome. So, okay, let's say I find a, bug or something like that, or I don't know what, like, how do I, or like, I mean, can people just like look at the issues and just start contributing? Like, what if I just want to get in there? Like, it's not a new feature request.
And you want to just start
Helping.
You want to start helping. You can. So on our main Angular repository, let's take that one, for example. You go to the issues tab in GitHub, and then you can, right now it says is issue and is open. And I think we also have help wanted. Do we have help wanted on this? Let's see. I'm not sure if we have anything, or maybe we do. I can't remember if we have a tag for this. But usually what we can do is you can look and see what's available and what's been tagged as an issue, and then you can get started.
Oh, I love that.
So you can go through this, and again, if it says is issue, is open. And I thought we had a help wanted tag. Let's look at the labels. Let's see. There are a lot of actions. Okay. Is there a help wanted label? Because maybe we should put a help wanted label. So there's a lot. Hold on. Let me try help.
Oh, okay, there it is.
So there is a help wanted tag that you can use.
I like it. Ooh, has PR. State has PR. That's cool that you can see that.
And right. So you get to see all the different parts of the current state of an issue. Very cool stuff.
And then what do? You just like start? Like you just...
Yeah, great question. So let's take this one.
Are the P's like priorities? So it's like P2 is like super important. Okay.
And it depends how many people it blocks, and if it's like really a breaking feature for a lot of people, then those get higher elevated.
Okay.
But let's take this P4, because this could be a great start for somebody. The structural directive type check docs section is incomplete. So someone opens this and then they say, hey, the docs section is incomplete. So they link to the docs, which is great. And it says that it's incomplete. So where does T come from? How do we use the person's interface, and the directive decorator is missing? So these are all the things that are missing from the documentation. So this is a great opportunity for our friends at home. If they want to get involved, here's where you can start.
Nice. Okay. What do you feel like are like the easiest places to contribute?
I think the easiest place to contribute would be the docs, because that just gives you a place to use your existing knowledge to help improve the documentation.
Okay. And like, can you just like, you're just like using the docs, and can you just like start contributing, or do you like always have to submit an issue first, or can you just like submit a PR?
Great, Tracy. You know what? Get that left hand up. You see that? Wait, look at this. High five for me to you. All right, those are great questions. That's an excellent question. So what should you do? So I think those are all great use cases, because if you're somebody like myself, whenever I'm like reading the documentation to get more familiar with something, for, let's say for a video, I'll take notes while I'm reading. If I find errors in the documentation, I'll take notes. And then I'll turn those notes into an issue and then follow with the PR, right? And then that way I can get some feedback. Or, like I said, people can look through the issues and find a place to start. Or if you have an idea, you can do that as well.
Yeah. Is there anything you guys are like craving on the Angular team? What do you feel like you really need help with? Like, is it documentation? Is it code reviews? Is it like suggesting new features?
We get plenty of new feature requests.
So no help needed there.
Yeah, no, the community is phenomenal with saying what they want. So that works out just fine right now. Okay. Here's an area where we could really use some help in. I think that people say that the documentation needs, some improvements, right? And Dave, our excellent technical writer, and team behind Dave, they work really hard on it, but having more people support it could never be a bad thing.
Okay, good. What about some no-nos? Like, what should people not do when looking at trying to contribute?
Well, first thing is don't come in hot. That's a
Yes.
mistake. Like, don't come in hot. Meaning,
Yeah.
when I say that, friends at home, I'm saying like don't attack us, in
Yes.
the issue, because it's never personal. Like we haven't created something to harm you intentionally, right? But definitely make us aware of what you need. But don't come in hot.
Yeah.
Second thing is don't continue to spam the comments like, why haven't you looked at this yet? Why haven't you looked at this yet? Why haven't you looked at this yet? We actually look at our issues we have a new SLA that we do for our issues. So we try to look at them as soon as we can, right?
Yes.
And so we're looking, and remember, we're humans, friends. Like, we're
Yes.
humans. Tracy, what would you say are some no-nos that you think of from your experience?
Well, I think exactly what you said, right? Like not coming in hot, not attacking, nobody did something to hurt you, or nobody was trying to, not spamming the comments are all really, really good. I mean, probably not. I mean, you already covered this, the whole like, here's how you do feature requests. So like reading the contributing guide first, because you don't want to like rip out TypeScript and think it's going to get merged for some reason, right? So
Please don't do that.
Well, okay, so like for issues, do people like just comment and say like, hey, can I work on this? Or if there's something that's tagged like help wanted, can people just like start working on it?
Oh, great question. That's one I'm not sure about, actually, if they should comment first and say they're going to work on it. I think that it could be helpful to let people know that you're working on it, and you can link to your PR and make sure you tag this issue if you are working on the PR. You could do that, and that'll definitely let us know.
Yeah. Okay. And then are there other things like good first issue or anything like that? Like any other tags we should watch out for?
You know what? Let's look and see, because again, I love getting like feedback on stuff. So let's look at the labels and see if there's anything about a first. Bam! Look at that. There is a tag called Good First Issues, and right now we don't have any.
So there's no good first issues, period. I feel like that's I'm going to assign an issue to you right now called Create Good First Issues.
That's right. That's right. So we should definitely organize this a little bit. I'm going to look in here and say, look, how do we make this good first issue for people? Because that's really important.
Yeah, I was looking at I think it's it's Blitz.js. Actually, he has good first issue and good second issue as tags. So you guys might want to think about that too.
Let me see if there's a second. No, we're not that far ahead. No good second issue, but good first issue is a good tag, and help wanted. I'm telling you, that tag is oh wait, I was in the wrong label. Hold on, let me see. Second, no, okay, yeah, but the help wanted tag is really great. Yeah, this is a really great tag.
What about like people reviewing PRs? Like, is there like some sort of process for doing so? Can anybody do it, or?
Oh, good. That's an excellent question. Can anybody review a PR? So anybody can look at it, and I think, I'd have to get back to you on that one about what happens if you want to get started by just reviewing PRs. Yeah, that's a really great question. I'll get back to you, and maybe we can include some answers in the show notes or something.
For sure. What's like something that what's some things people can do to like just make sure they're successful in the project?
Oh, number one thing is make sure that you spend the time going through the contribution guide. And, following these rules helps us to help you, right? So that's the number one thing that you can do to make sure that you're going to be successful, whether it be submitting an issue, submitting a feature request, submitting a PR, so a pull request to fix a feature. If you want to do that, make sure that you follow these rules, because we have a lot of automated processes involved. And so part of those rules is, like for example, there are commit message guidelines, right? So do the commit message stuff correctly, right? Because that makes it easier for us to review and improve your PRs, right? And there's also, we have one other issue that you have to do because of, not issue, one other step. Make sure that you sign the CLA, the contributor license agreement, things like this, right? Like not signing the CLA before sending the pull request, right? Do it before. because we can't even accept these changes if you don't do this.
Oh, so does that mean like if you submit a PR and then you sign the CLA after, the PR prior, you can't accept?
Oh, yeah. See, I don't even know if we can accept it, right? I don't know if we can or
Oh,
not.
that's interesting.
Yeah, but just make it easy for everybody. Do this quick step. You just click through this form, and then you sign our CLA, and that just helps everybody.
Okay. So do y'all have like core team meetings? Can anybody attend? Where do they attend? Do you have notes for it? Or is there, I mean, like Angular team obviously has a core team and it's like Google, but like, do you guys have, I mean, just like, how is that all structured?
Yeah, so we do have prioritization meetings internally where we look at GitHub issues. We talk about, things that are out there. Not everyone can attend. And I think I wonder if we have any notes available, public notes. I can find out about that one too. I'll find out if we have public notes.
Okay, cool. But like, there's no like random public meetings or anything like that.
No, not just yet. There's nothing like that right now.
But I think the great part about Angular is you can look at the roadmap.
You can always look at the roadmap. You can always find out what we're working on. And there's some really clever people out there who look at our GitHub and know what we're doing. And they'll write a blog post about like, well, I saw that they updated the ng-dev directory. I think they're working on this thing. And I'm just like, how are you so smart? Like, you folks are like too smart.
What about like non-code contributions? Like, do you have any suggestions for like non-code contributions that people can do to add value to the community?
Yes, 100%. Go through the feature requests. That's a great place to do a non-code contribution and thumbs up the ones that you like. That way we can make sure they get prioritized for and considered. Also, opening up issues that you see instead of like trashing us on the blog or something or going on Twitter, like open up an issue for a broken thing, like that could be really helpful to us.
Yeah.
Right? Like communicating. So like those are two ways you can do it. Another way that's not necessarily related to like GitHub contributions, continue to do great like community events as well. Like we love to see those. So I know that's not related to the code or like to GitHub, but that's another way that you can do something that's really contributing to the community.
Right. Hosting events, speaking at them.
Yep.
I guess like
going to events.
Posts. Yeah. So do you have any like stories of like successful contributors that kind of like maybe dipped their toe in and then became successful?
Well, I think my favorite story of all time is my team lead, Minko Getchev.
Okay, I love Minko. Yes.
Yeah, so Minko is the lead for the Angular DevRel team. And Minko, before becoming a Googler and working on Google full time, he was contributing.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that this is like, everybody who contributes to to Angular is going to become a Googler, but I'm saying like his passion for Angular led to, his current like career. And he just started by contributing, making small changes.
Yeah.
And then he just kept going and then going and going. And then at one point the team was just like, hey, what do you think about coming on board and being awesome with us? So it's really great.
He's a team lead now, right?
Yeah.
For developer relations. Yeah.
Yep.
I love that. Oh, that's so awesome. Yeah, well, you guys have done an amazing job. Again, I love Angular, obviously. And, it's really cool to see how organized everything is. I love hearing about, I know I've read the contributing markdown file like at some point in time, but I just should definitely go back and review it. I love the tip on signing the CLA. Like, oh yeah, duh, got to do that. So that's really good to know. And I think like highlighting the importance of like, oh, there's a lot of automated processes. So you should probably like make sure you're following certain things. I remember when I was like, I did a contribution to the documentation and I was just like, I can figure it out, and I like poked around and I was like, oh yeah, I just need to update this one line here. And I submitted to the documentation. And again, this was a while ago, so I can't remember, like, I don't know if it's like different now. But when I submitted it, it was like, well, no, that's not where you actually submit it. You're not supposed to be like editing this. You need to edit it like here, not there. But it wasn't like, it wasn't like intuitive. You know what I'm saying? So,
Sure.
and like I could have saved myself a lot of time by just like reading a little bit longer. So yeah, definitely like you save yourself a lot of time by like reaching out and like figuring it out. But I was like, I could do this. So anyways,
No,
well,
I love that energy. And I want to pass that
yeah,
energy out to our friends at home. Like, you can
yeah.
do this. You can totally help support Angular. You can totally contribute. And we love seeing your contributions.
Yeah. Well, awesome. Well, everyone follow Mark on Twitter at Mark Texan, and definitely check out the Angular YouTube where he's doing education all the time. And if you want to become the next Minko Getchev, all you gotta do is start contributing. Thank you
Sounds
so much,
great.
Mark, for spending a little bit of time with us.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here.